Welcome to Crime and Curiosity, where we unravel the darkest mysteries and peer into the minds of the most chilling criminals. If you're hooked on true crime and crave stories that keep you up at night, smash that subscribe button to join our curious community and never miss a gripping tale. Tonight on Crime and Curiosity, we unravel a savage killing spree in a quiet English city that left 3 men butchered and a nation horrified. Buckle up. This plunge into a killer's twisted mind is not for the faint-hearted. March 2013, Peterborough. A city of 180,000 where life ticked along. Dog walkers on fenland paths, workers in warehouses, families in cozy homes. But something was off. A shadow moved through the streets unseen. Its presence felt only in the chill of the air. On March 30th, a dog walker in Newborough froze at a ghastly sight. A man's body, half hidden in a ditch, clad in a black sequin dress, posed to mock his dignity. The victim was Kevin Lee, 48, a property developer with a family. Stab wounds tore through his chest and neck, the work of a killer who savored their craft. Who could do this? Police whispered. Why the dress? Days later, on April 3rd, 2 more bodies surfaced in a thorny dike ditch miles away. Łukasz Slabazuski, 31, a Polish immigrant, and John Chapman, 56, a Falklands War veteran, both stabbed repeatedly, left to rot under the open sky. Their wounds echoed Kevin Lee's, precise, lethal stabs to vital organs. One killer? Detectives wondered. Or a pack? The Peterborough Ditch Murders hit the headlines and terror seized the city. Doors locked, rumors swirled, and police warned of a dangerous suspect not to be approached. Who was this shadow? Residents asked. Someone we know. The truth was closer than they feared, buried in a web of blood and lies. The manhunt surged, but the killer wasn't done. On April 2nd, 140 miles away in Hereford, Robin Baraza, a retired firefighter, was walking his dog when a blade sank into his back. He fell, blood soaking the pavement, as his attacker vanished. 9 minutes later, John Rogers, another dog walker, was stabbed repeatedly, left for dead, his dog stolen in a cruel twist. Both men clung to life, their stories chilling. A figure who struck without a word, driven by raw malice. Why random strangers? Investigators puzzled. Is this the same killer? CCTV linked a vehicle from Peterborough to Hereford, tightening the noose. The suspect was bold, attacking in daylight, fearless of capture. Who defies the law so openly? The nation demanded. How many more will fall? The answer was coming, and it would upend everything. Rewind to March 19, 2013, when the nightmare began. Łukasz Slabazuski, a 31-year-old Polish warehouse worker, was building a new life in Peterborough. He'd met someone through late-night drinks, a charming figure who offered connection. On or around March 19th, Łukasz told friends he was meeting his English girlfriend at a property in Orton Gold Hay, a gritty corner of the city. Hopeful for romance, he arrived, perhaps smiling as he knocked. The mood turned playful. His host suggested a blindfold, a game. But as Łukasz stood, trusting and defenseless, a pocket knife slashed through the air, piercing his heart with deadly accuracy. He crumpled, dead in moments, his dreams snuffed out. The killer dragged his body to a green wheelie bin, where it festered for days. In a sickening act, the murderer showed the corpse to a 14-year-old girl, flaunting their power. Who could be so heartless? The body was later dumped in Thorny Dyke, found on April 3rd beside another victim. On March 29th, the killer struck again, targeting John Chapman, a 56-year-old veteran whose Falklands War service was a distant memory. Living in an Orton Gold Hay bedsit, John battled addiction, his life a shadow of its former pride. That evening, he was likely in his room, sipping a drink or dozing when the killer, a familiar housemate, slipped inside. No words, no warning. 6 stab wounds erupted. 2 to the heart, 1 slicing his neck's arteries, 3 ripping his chest. John had no time to resist, his body collapsing as blood soaked the floor. The killer's cruelty lingered. They called an associate, singing Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again" with a cackle, as if murder were a prank. John's body was wrapped in a sheet, hauled to a car with accomplices' help, and dumped in Fenland Fields ditch, undiscovered until April 3rd. What mind revels in such brutality? That same day, Kevin Lee, a 48-year-old landlord, became the 3rd victim. A family man running Quicklet, a letting agency, Kevin hid a secret, an affair with someone tied to his business. That evening, a message lured him to the Orton Gold Hay property with promises of intimacy. Expecting a private moment, he stepped into a dimly lit room, only to face a trap. A knife flashed, severing his neck's arteries, then struck his chest, one blow collapsing a lung. Kevin gasped, his life fading in minutes. The killer wasn't done. They dressed his body in a black sequined dress, tugging it over his lifeless form, and posed him with his backside exposed to degrade him in death. Loaded into a car, his body was dumped in Newborough's ditch, found March 30th by a shocked passerby. Why the humiliation? Detectives asked. Personal or pure evil? The killer fled to Hereford, attacking Robin Baraza and John Rogers on April 2nd. Baraza, 64, was stabbed in the back at 3:42 p.m. while walking his dog, the blade puncturing a lung. 9 minutes later, Rogers, 71, was knifed in the chest and abdomen, the blows narrowly missing vital organs. His dog was stolen, leaving him bleeding out. Both survived, but the attacks revealed a reckless hunger for violence. Why keep killing? Police wondered. What fuels this madness? On April 4, 2013, police cornered the suspect in Hereford, and the shadow's face stunned the world. The killer wasn't a hulking criminal or a ghostly drifter. It was Joanna Dennehy, a 30-year-old mother of two, her unassuming smile masking a heart of ice. The revelation rocked Britain. A woman. People gasped. A mother? How could someone so ordinary unleash such horror? As investigators unraveled her life, they found a psychopath whose descent was a twisted tapestry of rebellion, addiction, and raw malice. Joanna Christine Dennehy was born August 29, 1982, in St. Albans, Hertfordshire, to Kathleen and Kevin Dennehy. Raised in Harpenden with her younger sister, Maria, she grew up in a stable, middle-class home. Her father, a security guard, and mother, a retail worker, fostered a nurturing environment. Joanna shone brightly, top grades, star of the hockey and netball teams, and a dream to become a lawyer. Her parents paid for extra tuition, and teachers praised her sharp wit and ambition. She was a girl with a future, one recalled. What could shatter such promise? At 14, Joanna's world tilted. She met John Traynor, a 20-year-old with a rough edge, and fell hard. Her parents begged her to stay away, but she rebelled, sneaking out, skipping classes, and clashing with authority. By 15, she ran away from home, 8 times before turning 16, when she legally claimed independence. Cannabis and alcohol became her escape, soon joined by harder drugs like amphetamines. Her grades plummeted, her law dreams faded, and her family watched helplessly as she slipped away. Was it love or a deeper fracture? Maria later said, "It was like she flipped a switch, rejecting everything she was." We're deep in this bone-chilling saga, and the killer's sinister web is unraveling. If you're gripped, subscribe to Crime and Curiosity for more true crime tales that haunt your dreams. Smash that button to keep the thrills coming. At 17, in 1999, Joanna gave birth to Traynor's daughter, a role she despised. She was furious about being a mother, Traynor recalled. Her drinking worsened, and she neglected her baby, often leaving her to get high. Self-harm scars marked her arms, a silent cry of inner chaos. In 2005, a second child arrived, but Joanna's life spiraled further. She cheated on Traynor, lashed out violently, and created a toxic home. By her mid-20s, Traynor fled with their children, shielding them from her chaos. How did motherhood become her cage? Joanna became a drifter in Cambridgeshire, living in squalid bedsits and mixing with Peterborough's underbelly. Her rap sheet grew: petty theft, assault, public drunkenness. In 2012, she assaulted a man, earning a 12-month suspended sentence, and landed in Peterborough City Hospital's psychiatric ward. There, doctors diagnosed antisocial personality disorder with psychopathic traits: impulsivity, zero empathy, and a knack for manipulation. She charmed some, terrified others, her laugh cutting like glass. Why was she ignored? Released, she roamed free, a predator unchecked. By 2013, Joanna was a powder keg. She forged a toxic bond with Gary Stretch Richards, a 7'3" thief, and Leslie Layton, a drifter who worshipped her. She ruled them with charisma and fear, bending grown men to her will. Witnesses recalled her boasting of violent fantasies, idolizing fictional killer Dexter Morgan. "I want to be a female Dexter," she told a friend, eyes gleaming. She carried a pocket knife everywhere, twirling it like a toy. How did she wield such power? Her accomplices never killed, but they followed her, hauling bodies while she stabbed with glee. Joanna wasn't just a killer. She was a force, thriving on control and the thrill of blood. What forged this monster? At her January 2014 trial at the Old Bailey, Dennehy pleaded guilty to 3 murders and 2 attempted murders. She smirked through proceedings, laughing as victims' families wept. To a psychiatrist, she said, "I killed to see if I was as cold as I thought I was." Then it got moreish. Moreish? The court gasped. Was murder her drug? Dr. Jeremy Coyd, a psychopathy expert, testified she scored 99th percentile for psychopathic traits. Impulsivity, no empathy, craving stimulation. The sequin dress on Kevin Lee was deliberate, a sadistic act to degrade him, feeding her joy. Why humiliate the dead? Coyd said it was about dominance, proving her power over life and death. Richards got 7 years for moving bodies, Leighton 14 for aiding and concealing evidence. But Dennehy was the puppet master, her knife the star. On February 28, 2014, Mr. Justice Spencer gave her a whole life order, joining Myra Hindley, Rose West, and Lucy Letby as the UK's only women so sentenced. He branded her a cruel, calculating, selfish, and manipulative serial killer who killed for sport. Would she ever feel remorse? Her cold stare said no. We're halfway through this chilling tale, and Joanna Dennehy's darkness is unraveling. If you're hooked, subscribe to Crime and Curiosity for more true crime stories that grip your soul. Hit that button now to stay in the loop. Peterborough's wounds linger. The ditches haunt locals, and survivors Baraza and Rogers bear scars. Dennehy's children, raised by Traynor, live with her infamy. Her family grapples with their lost girl. Could she have been stopped? In HMP Low Newton, Dennehy remains defiant, tied to a 2019 escape plot, her danger undimmed. Her case questions female violence and psychopathy's roots. What makes her unique? Unlike Catherine Knight's rage-fueled act, Dennehy's spree was a thrill-driven waltz with death. The Peterborough Ditch Murders leave us reeling. What drives a thrill killer? Was it Dennehy's rebellion, addiction, or a wired-in evil? Why these victims, men society overlooked? How many more might she have killed? She claimed 8 murders, but only 3 were proven. The truth lies with her, behind those unrepentant eyes. Can we ever fathom her mind? Thank you for plunging into the shadows with us on the Peterborough Ditch Murders. If Joanna Dennehy's story has you gripped, subscribe to Crime and Curiosity for more true crime tales that spark your curiosity. Share this video, drop a comment, and tell us, what shocked you most? Her remorseless laugh, her sadistic games, or that a mother could be this monster?